Welcome. In this video, we will be looking at Example 2 and Example 3 from Lesson 1 for Module 2 for Grade 7. We're going to be starting to talk about negative and positive numbers and how we can use the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with those numbers. First, we need to review positive and negative numbers. Here in Example 2, we're going to use the number line to practice counting up and counting down. When we count up, we start from 0, and that corresponds to the positive numbers. So going to the right or going up is counting up, and that's our positive numbers. For example, for positive 7, we would start at 0 and count up 7 hops. This would represent positive 7, from 0 to 7. When we count down, we start at 0, and that corresponds to the negative numbers. So starting at 0 and counting to the left, or counting down on a vertical number line, would be our negative numbers. So here is negative 7, 0 to negative 7. When you locate a number on the number line, you always begin at 0. And you count up for positive numbers and down for negative numbers. If we want to look at the distance between 0 and a number on a number line, that's called the absolute value of that number. It's always positive. Distance is always positive. This is a review from last year. And what is the relationship between 7 and negative 7? Well, negative 7 is 7 units from 0, and positive 7 is 7 units from 0. They're what we call opposite numbers. They have the same distance from 0 in opposite directions. Alright, now let's look at an example of how we can use the integer game and the number line to model counting up and counting down. We're going to be using this card game throughout the module to help us understand the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of positive and negative integers. Here we're looking to see what is the sum of all of these card values. The sum means what happens if we add them all up. We're going to use the counting on method on this number line to see what the answer is. We're going to start with a card positive 5, which means we're going to count up from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, starting from where we left off at 5, we're going to take the next card, which is negative 5, and we're going to count down. So we're going to count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our next card is negative 4, which means we're going to count down 4 from where we left off the last time. So we're going to count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our last card is a positive 8. That means we're going to count up 8 from where we left off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our final position on the number line is positive 4. And the last question, what card or combination of cards would you need to get back to 0? Well, if we're here at 4 and we need to get back to 0, there are 4 units. So we could use negative 4 as one of our numbers, or we could use a combination. For example, negative 1 and negative 3. So from 4, if we did negative 3 and negative 1, that would take us back to 0. Or we could do negative 5 and 1. Starting at 4, if we go count down 5 and then count up 1, we would get back to 0. There are lots of other combinations that would get us back to 0. All right, let's make sure you have that information written down. This has been a review of how to use the number line with positive and negative numbers. You're going to move on to Lesson 2 next.